Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be organizing my money for the month of July. I have turned to my budget section in my Tom 90 planner, and I did already organize in a short my sinking funds for this month because I am saving for back to school. We have about 4 weeks before back to school begins, and so I just put about $19 within here. I am going to be trying to save cash every single time I make money throughout the month in order to prepare for that. So we have my Once More with Love sticker book, and I purchased this one from Michael's. We have some bill due stickers here. I also have my bill tracker, and I have my budget planner. So let's go ahead and start off by filling out my front page. We're just going to add that it's the month of July, and I am also going to add some goals. So the first goal is my back to school savings, and for this envelope my goal is to get to $750. Now this is a pretty lofty goal. I may not make it. I may not hit this goal in 4 weeks because that's a very short period of time, but I like to set it really high, and then if I do make it, it's great. If not, the closer I get, then the less that I would have to pull and budget throughout the month of August. So we're going to set it there just in case. You never know, sometimes I am able to take on an extra event or a speaking engagement and I'm able to hit that amount. And my second goal for this month is to invest $250, and I would also like to save $250. So that's it for the goals for this upcoming month. Now we are going to flip over to my monthly calendar and start to fill it out. So the first was actually on a Monday, and I'm actually a little bit late because today is the 8th, and usually I will have filled it out before, like around the 30th. However, I'm a little late. Tomorrow is my actual birthday, so I've been preparing for that, and I had not had a chance to set up my budget, but I was like, let me do it before the birthday activities begin, because you know what happens when we don't do our budget ahead of time. We are likely to spend way more money. So I'm really trying to stay on track even though it's my birthday. I was saving all last month for my birthday, so I don't have to do too much saving for it. I'm gonna be using my cash envelope that I had from last month for that. That's why this month we are dedicated to back to school savings. So now I'm going to pull over these bill due stickers, and I'm going to start to fill them out with the bills from my bill tracker. Now some of these bills I have already covered, like our mortgage, that is already paid, but I am still going to write it down just so I can let myself know what I've already paid and what still needs to be covered. Okay, let's start adding some of these stickers to the due dates. Some of these are around the same time. I'm just realizing that, but I will just put them within the same payday, because that's the main thing that I need to know is what needs to be paid before payday. And so paydays are Wednesday, so I am just kind of adding them all before that day, even if it's not on the exact day that they have to be paid. So a lot of our bills are due before the 15th of the month. And so I do a lot of my savings around the end of the month, and I do a lot of my investing, paying off debt. Usually that happens in the last 2 weeks because the first 2 weeks are completely dedicated to paying bills. Okay, all of the bills are down on my sidebar here. I am going to cover, I should wipe this out. You wipe this out, and we are going to add additional expenses here. I know I am going to the spa, and then I have a pool party. And so let me just put this is on the 9th, on the 12th, and I am going out of town. So I'm also going to write that down. Now I'm going out of town for work, so a lot of this will be business expenses, so it probably won't be on this budget. It will be mainly within my business budget. However, I do like to keep track just in case we end up going out to dinner or doing something personal while we are out there. I will set aside a little bit of money for that as well. The spa and the pool party are personal expenses, so I do like to kind of keep track of that just so I can make sure that I have a little budget set aside for that as well. And then here I'm going to add my additional savings. Anytime I save money, if I put it in my short-term, long-term business account, whatever I decide to do, I'm going to just keep track of it here because that just lets me know how I'm doing overall throughout the month. I do like to save money every single time I get paid. My goal is to also pay off debt every single time I get paid, but sometimes I am unable to do both. But whatever I decide to do, if I'm paying off debt or saving money, I'm just going to keep track of it right here. So the last part of this, I am going to use the colorful dots from my shop in order to add all of my paydays. So I'm just going to write payday in each one of these bubbles. Okay, all of my paydays are marked, all of the bills are down, and then I have my sidebar completed with the additional expenses and the additional savings that I decide to do throughout the month. Now that we have filled out the monthly calendar, I am going to move over to my monthly budget, and this is where I just list out exactly what I have done here. But when I list it out here, it just helps me to kind of compare the budget to the actual expense. So that's why I love to do both. And like I said, some of these are already done. So like for instance, my mortgage, that's already paid. And some of these additional expenses have already come out as well. I'll check that in a second. Okay, let me bring you in closer so you can see how I'm filling this out. But if it's already paid, I just will write it in red, and that just lets me know what has been covered and what still needs to be covered. And every single month, I will fill out my additional bills on my half sheet. And that's just because I don't have enough space here to fill out all of the bills that I have. And I like to save the bottom part for all of my variable expenses, so additional spending that I end up doing. And I like to save this for my savings, for my sinking funds and things like that. So we are just going to add here the additional bills that I have not added just yet. So let me look up some of these bills. This one is $30.81. Pool is $222. Entergy is $292. Peacock is $11.99, and this one is $154.57. Okay, so now we're just going to add these up to see what this total needs to be. Okay, so the total is $1,230.30. So I'm going to move this total over to my actual planner. This lets me know to check this sheet, and I'm gonna pop this sheet in here. And now we're going to add all of these up. So the total fixed expenses is $4,303.64. Income is going to be $5,600. So $5,600 minus 4303.64 is $1,296.36. Let me actually set aside my savings. So I'm gonna put $100 set aside for that. because these things kind of come out automatically. So I wanted to do them before I do my variable expenses. And so the total here is $632.27, and we will subtract that from this total. So we have about $664.09 that we can put here. I'm probably gonna do 600 here and then leave the rest as my bank balance. So for my variable expenses, we are going to have food and make that 600. Everything else is going to come out of my cash envelopes for this month. I had been setting aside money for my birthday and all of my sinking funds from last month. So I'm mainly gonna use this for food. I'm gonna see how far we get with this. And if I am able to increase my income and bring in more money, then I will adjust. I'll add in shopping and additional things. But for now, we're just gonna leave it as food. I'm going to leave that here. So let's subtract minus 600. 696.36, and then minus the 632, and that leaves me with the balance of 6409. So income is 5,600, expenses is 4303.64 plus the 600, 4903. Sinking funds is the 632.27, and the extra debt should be 6409, which is my bank balance. So let's make sure this adds up to 0. So 5,600 minus 4903.64 minus 632.27 is 6409. And so now my budget is complete. I do have some things that have already cleared. And like I said, my goal is to beat this because I am on variable income. This is basically my base salary. I know a lot of times when I fill this out, people will ask, what about shopping? What about entertainment? What about just spending money? So this is my base salary. And so I will always budget off of my base. And then my goal is to make more than my base so that I am able to add in all of the fun things that I like to do. Usually that will happen, and that is why I have my business account separate from my personal. I will pay myself in order to make sure that I can cover all of the bills. And then after I know that the bills are covered, then I am able to kind of splurge and have a little bit more fun based on how much more I make. So now I'm just going to jot in a couple of the things that have already cleared the bank. Because like I said, it's about the 8th right now. So I really am behind on marking this down and setting up my planner. Okay, this is everything. It is all set up. We are ready to go. So now we have the monthly budget set up. The calendar is set up. I've already started checking certain things off that have cleared. And then we have my monthly budget here where I can write down my actuals and I am ready to go for the month. So every single week I will fill out my paycheck budget, and this is where I am going to keep track of all of the bills that have been paid. I am also going to probably set this up and backdate it so that I can see what still needs to be covered from the first week, but we are good and ready to go. So guys, I hope that this video has helped you. If you have already set up your budget for the month of July, let me know in the comments below how your budget is working so far. Y'all know we have about 4 weeks before back to school gets started, and I am already prepping and having the girls ready, which is why I started my cash envelope. And if you're wondering, how do I stuff this since I don't have a lot of money here left over, this is usually when I get paid per week and I make more than the base. If I make more than what I need, I will try and stuff some of it. And so that is how I am able to kind of stuff my cash envelopes and still cover all of the bills. So guys, I hope that this one has helped you, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.